Welcome back. Now we'll be starting with the Punch newspaper this morning. On the headlines of the Punch, we have flood crisis. FG predicts more devastation in 15 states. Alright, India buys Nigerian crude as Dangote imports US oil. Doyin Abiola, media gurus reflect on democracy soldiers' life. States hit by 68% spike in foreign debt payments, with riders. Debt servicing threatens states' fiscal stability. This is from NAITI. Lagos, Rivers, others spend 235 billion naira in 6 months. On page 19. Still on the Punch, EFCC arrests 93 suspects for internet fraud in Ogun. FG launches e-fiscal platform to crack down on tax evasion. Another UK-based Nigerian jailed 5 years for rape, on pages 4 and 5. And finally, on the Punch, Rivers LG poll umpire under fire amidst ADC APC attacks. Now over to the Daily Independent newspaper. How Nigeria's manufacturers are weathering the economic storms. FG to partner states private sector to boost food security systems, on page 7. Still on the Daily Independent, Serap NGE ask court to halt intimidation of Badegi FM by Governor MBC. Obasanjo Presidential Library threatens legal action over EFCC raid. Dangote Refinery takes delivery of CNG trucks for fuel distribution. Another 4 years of APC will be catastrophic for Nigeria. This is from ADC on page 7. Experts reveal key driver of Nigeria's air passenger decline, with rider warn airports may deteriorate due to low use. Tech Fund receives 1.6 trillion naira, lists interventions in tertiary institutions, on page 6 of the Daily Independent. Now over to the Vanguard newspaper. Sugar importation rises as local production falters. Sugarcane farmers lament neglect access to sugar refiners, page 25. Tariff slash EERC moves to resolve Enugu power outage. Peter Obi has integrity. He'll keep his one-term promise, says MBF. Looming strike, FG to pay 7 months arrears of doctors, health workers, on page 9. FG's fresh warning, states mobilize against flooding. 2027, Niger Delta will support only Tinubu, says Otuaro. Tax Reform Act will cripple our operations in 48 hours. AON, page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Now to the Nigerian Tribune. Banditry, police deploy squad to Kwara community. 2027, PDP may unveil zoning formula August 25th. Diri's ad hoc committee to meet this week. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, Senate factors to consider before approving new states. 61 requests approved, received, on page 23. Serap NGE sue Niger Governor MBC over Badegi FM. 2027, Niger Delta will support only Tinubu. This is from Pap Boss. Strike, health workers to get 7 month salary arrears by August end. FG. Release LG fund, Osun government tells FG again. 500 billion naira recapitalization. Banks step up capital drive as CBN tightens grip on recap to power $1 trillion economic goal. And on health, exercise can help fight breast cancer. Over to the Guardian newspaper. On page 6, from Broad Street to Atlantic City, congestion, asset depreciation push HNI's businesses to Eco Atlantic City. Abiodun Daniel bicker over demolition notices on property. New Constitution, Senate welcomes recommendations at public hearing. Atiku, Falana kick as NYSC defends withheld certificates. US condemns killing of Christians in Nigeria, vows decisive action. Landmark vaccine trial raises hope for cancer patients. EFCC raids hotel in Obasanjo's library. Management threatens lawsuit. Cracks widen in ADC coalition as Shakarao allies consider new platform. Now to the Blueprint newspaper. TET Fund deployed over 100 billion naira to improve medical sciences, says Masari, with riders says 225 billion naira released for Funnel Fund. NIMET alerts on flood in Benue, Taraba, Adamawa, Kebbi, Bauchi in next 3 days. Thunderstorm in FCT, Niger, Nasarawa, Kwara, Plateau. Moderate rains in southern region. NEMA conducts simulation in Kebbi community. First Bank champions innovation at 2025 Canada-Africa FinTech Summit. August 15 fuel distribution. Dangote commences receipt of 4,000 CNG-powered trucks. Refinery expects 60 shiploads of trucks in 6 weeks. And on sports, Afrobasket, the Tigers unveil final squad of to Angola. Alright, that is it on the Blueprint newspaper this morning and on the newspaper headlines. And over to our review with our in-house reviewer, Chris Maduka, this morning. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Uche. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. How are you today?
Well, thank God for life, and we are here again.
Yes.
You're looking bright.
Thank you.
Yes. Welcome to Newspaper Headline, another day on Signature TV. So let's fire the fire. I have made some notes here. Punch, the state hit by 68% spike in foreign debt payments.
Yes.
That is letter bomb. I'm sitting on time bomb. Now, we are not just talking about national debt. We are talking about state debt that has risen to 68%. And you know that when you sit for exam, it's not just like WAEC that scored 38%, and then 2 hours later, they are scoring 63. This is not like it. With debt, once you are 68% on debt, you are pass mark on high debt. So you will have credit. In fact, it's almost B. For as a mark for you, it means you are on high debt profile. So the big goat, federal government, is eating the cud. The smaller goats, the states are watching, and they are behaving like their mama. That is it. So if they can, like my friend made a joke, he said he was speaking of one Ugandan politician. He said if they did it, we can did it. So if this federal government can did it, state government can did it, and they are doing it, and we are feeling the pain. In the world of these days, there is no pretense. No, nothing comes from nothing. If you owe, you pay. One of my friends, his popular name is a nickname is Onyugwo no Chog. When a debtor finish fighting, you cool down and negotiate the debt. You must pay. So if Nigerian states are owing up to 68%, this debt are being serviced. So it means that we have a squirrel in our bags when we go to plant seeds. If we have removed the oil subsidy and the states are receiving higher allocations, and they are also have borrowed that they're using that one to service debt, it means that whatever we are giving them is given away. Whatever FG has given them in federal allocation is also thrown back to the debt they are owing to foreign countries. What pains me is that Federal Ministry of Finance guarantees debt that states owe. You know, Uche, if I'm your senior brother or your father, and you want to borrow money, and they say, bring shorty, you come and ask, Daddy, I want to borrow money, can you shorty me? And then I go and sign for you that if you can pay, I'll pay. That is what the federal government Ministry of Finance does to states who borrow money from foreign organizations. Now, what does it mean? When there is federal allocation for states, and those states are failing to pay, they take it from source and pay their debt. And we are not started paying debt in Nigeria. What we do is debt servicing, which is so dangerous. Most Nigerians do not understand it. So it's still in the hands of politicians who are at the leadership positions. So whatever they are doing there, nobody in Nigeria, all we know without feeling the pain, we don't even know where the pain is coming from. And I want to explain it in a very simple way to most Nigerians. When the states borrow money, and you are calling on the governors to perform miracle, and they borrow the money, they didn't put it in productive ventures. Yeah. Some of them borrowed it to go and use it to build, what do I say, to renovate their state houses, to pay debts, pensioners. So that one is gone with the winds. It's not yielding anything that he will use to pay back the debt. So what they are doing, they are robbing Peter to pay Paul. Because then we pay pensioners, pay salary workers who are civil servants, also immersed in corruption. Nigerian civil servants are immersed in corruption. Deep one. In fact, they are the lecturers. They teach politicians how to get corrupt. If you come, like if you go to China, the Chinese don't speak English. They will come, they say, are you from Nigeria? You say, Nigeria. What quality you want? You want a high quality, one quality. They do like this. You want a short hand or long hand is good quality. So when they manufacture for you all those short hand qualities, they will follow you to the borders and make sure it goes to Nigeria. That is what civil servant does to politicians. When any politician comes, they will sit them down and teach them how to get corrupt. I invite them to come on here and tell us why, whether I'm telling the lies. They teach. So everybody has a portion of that blame. But what am I saying? When these borrowings are done, you are now expecting the governors to do miracle. They will use the money they will use to service debt, and they borrow more. So they keep every member of Nigerian states in perpetual debt. And that is our problem. Nigerians, anybody who sits at the position of leadership, make decision before you say, I feel like the state houses of assembly say borrow. If it's at the presidential level and national level, before you say national assembly, you say borrow. We keep borrowing and nobody is asking who and when will pay the debt. Some of our leaders, I'm sorry to say, even people like us are on our way out, but we are borrowing money for the future and keep coming to tell us that the future generation or the future is here. The future is not here. We are spending the future of our children and they will never forgive us. So what we need to do is to look at it. So with that 68%, food crisis, FG predict more devastation in 15 states. It has gotten to that we now aggregate states where food crisis is going to be breakneck. And the federal government that is talking about this. I was expecting federal government to say, now if 15 states in Nigeria, food crisis is imminent and it's going to become dangerous, this is the move we have made. That's all as federal government, they still owe us that debt, whether they accept it or not. I will not start calling anybody. They are the people I know. So when there is food crisis going to be in 15 states, what I explained this morning is that since federal government already know it, they said this is the move we're already making. Not putting us in high alert and hypertension. What do we do? If the federal government asks us, who do we ask? They are our last resort. FG announcing devastation that the food crisis will cause in 15 states.
Flood crisis.
And then the flood crisis.
Yes, flood crisis. Blueprint mentioned the states: Benue, Taraba, Adamawa, Kebbi,
Blueprint.
Bauchi.
And Nimet has predicted again that this is the predictions that we started announcing for over 6 months now. Nimet is doing their job. Thank God they are motivated because they are not so they keep warning Nigeria. And there's something that happened where I saw that the state has begun to mobilize, and they sounded so good. It's not always okay. States mobilize against flooding. That's Vanguard. I take note of that. Now, with what Blueprint is saying, and the state already taking move to mobilize, it's good news. It's not always like what we want as human beings when we are reviewing this, serious situation, is to see that actions are being taken. So if the state has begun mobilizing, Federal government won last time. States are mobilizing now. Then we have some element of confidence that something is being done. Because if you treat flooding with kid gloves, it will just take over Nigeria. In fact, what happened is that more than half of Nigerian states are under siege of flood. And it's not something we will just treat politically. I want to sound politically correct, because only 3, we hear that it will be cut down and still stand where it is. So we as human beings, we hear, my state, Anambra State, is part of the Enugu State, where I'm talking from, shares from flooding. So why should they come and keep quiet? Because if I not talk, flood will come and carry us. If I talk, probably people in authority will feel we are too loud-mouthed, we are pursuing, but that is it. Because that we don't have any other choice but to tell them, do something to save our lives.
Now, this issue with Badegi FM, we're seeing that Serap, NGE...
Yes, I've been skipping that. I've been skipping that because we are like slaves in the same... So if we see where fellow slaves are being buried with ignominy, we know it's the same fate, which sort. The state governor of Niger State has no right whatsoever. He has shown, he has taken Niger State 25 years back in democracy. If we say we are growing in democracy, and you have a radio house who just said, and you have Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, who would have, then they have law, they have code, and they have what you need when you break the code, they have sanctions. It is not the job of state governor to sanction media houses. And you know, I'm sorry, media houses in Nigeria now, I don't even know what they, because everybody has gone social media. If it was one media used to be media, the state governor and the state of Niger State will be blacked out for 1 week. Then they will test a bit of what they are doing. So if you want to black out media, they will black them out. Media we show Niger State that it doesn't exist alone. CNN talks about Trump, Sky News, all of them. And this is where we are borrowing our democracy. We cannot come in 2025 and have very primitive governors using the media as after they don't go and chop all the money and somebody now report the situation, they will now leave the substance and pursue the shadow. It is not true. The media must do their job. And if you say media reflect the society, it's what they see, they will report. You come and prove them wrong with evidence. And then the organization who are regulating media will sanction them. The governor is overreaching himself to come out to close the media. Because if it happened if they did it, another one we did it, and they will be did it. And so before you know it, they will be, or otherwise. But you know what catches them these days is that they have tried to do it with social traditional media, but the social media is that fly that perched on the bad spot of this African democracy, and there are people who sitting at the top. Anyhow, you cannot escape. So whatever they're doing it sounds so useless that at this point the governor will he should have gone through Broadcasting Commission, NBC, and said, this is my petition against this radio house. They did this, bring out the code that guides broadcasting regulation in Nigeria. They will sanction. That is all we're expecting. But overreaching himself is
now I see that 93 suspects, EFCC arrest 93 suspects for internet fraud in Ogun.
Beautiful move.
Obasanjo library.
Beautiful move. 93 suspects by EFCC. What happens is that EFCC, I keep finding them arresting, saying cybercrime. Cybercrime is digital. EFCC begin to arrest analog offenders, the ones you can see. Why is it that it's only cyber you are seeing? Cyber is only when you are in cyber. Does the ocean swallow or drown the person where you no see in leg? What do the cybercrime people? Are they the issue of Nigeria? How many people do cybercrime of offenders you arrested? How many people do they defraud in Nigeria? Where is the Nigerian money missing? The ones you see, EFCC, you are seeing Nigerians who are corrupt. You have not arrested all of them. Well, I'm not teaching them how to do their job. But then he said, if they're arresting the ones you can see more, and then you start looking for the ones who operate in the air, the ones that operate tangibly, you can see them even with their moves. Let them do all of, let them be a balance. That's what I'm saying. But it's good move. Let's see. But I hear every day suspect cybercrime. Then for them to go and raid OBJ's presidential library, it's what I do not know. You know, this is high level security. EFCC, what did you see there again? Is it cybercrime? In the library, I thought it's books, and although libraries have gone digital and all, you cannot speak whatever I know, but the man has threatened court action. I hope it's not diversionary, because the next 1 or 2 weeks, you'll be talking about Obasanjo versus EFCC, and then that will take us time, because hunger and hardship is, let us raid people who are cheating the public, who are adding to already existing hunger and hardship in Nigeria, who are selling fuel at meters at the high cost of an average of 1,000 naira. When you will think they put air. You go home, you won't see anything. If you buy 10,000 fuel, you won't show you your meter. Those are things we're expecting EFCC to put more eye in. You know, let's prioritize things that affect us more seriously. Not going to OBJ Presidential Library. I don't know, going arresting the cyber criminals where we are here. You know, there was one time the former vice president was saying something. So he got stalked. He said, that's why we are, why that's why we, you know. So I don't want to get stalked when I'm talking about what happened and made us to be where we are here, you know. The same thing want to happen to me. The Nigerian manufacturers and the economy, you know, that kind of thing that has happened in Nigeria. If you see anybody who is employer of level trying to provide service and goods, provide manufactured goods and service in Nigeria, please call the person to your village, give him traditional title. Call him the likes of the man who owns a Signature TV, with the number of staff he put together, struggling to survive. You pay this bill, the tax, the local tax will come, the national tax will come, the hikes in tariffs for services, and no support from anybody, and you expect that the person will continue to pay, borrow to pay, to keep. And the federal government who's supposed to, and the state government who's supposed to support people who are helping them to reduce youth unemployment in Nigeria, are just making the environment so. Nigeria environment is so bad for investors, manufacturers, and providers of this thing. We should look at it. That's why some of them are, it's not only individuals that are jackpotting from Nigeria. Manufacturing organizations and providers of these goods and services are jackpotting. We know of how many pharmaceutical companies that have moved from Nigeria to Ghana, and they are moving away to neighboring countries where it's a little bit manageable to survive. So it's a very difficult thing for manufacturers and providers of this. So exactly. Now, so like one Nigerian musician say, now so we go the day. Federal government do something. Now we know we don't have any other person.
There's one headline here that just made it on one newspaper, but it's been all over, you know, the internet about this NYSC certificate. And we're seeing here on the Guardian that Atiku Falana kick as NYSC defense withheld.
The NYSC, you know, at a point some people have said because of insecurity in Nigeria, most Nigerian youth do not even go and to achieve the objective of NYSC. What the NYC is dealing with is, you know, that's what my father told me. This young girl is the Nwokoko, that is small chicken. NYC that is big, that is pursuing this girl, they will overreach themselves. The NYC will destroy itself. Bet me. It's using mallet. If NYC, no, you know, I keep warning, I'm not a prophet of doom. If NYC, we know, we all went through. I served Nigeria under NYC with zeal in 1988. Check it. Most of them working in NYC now are not yet born. If they come in 2025 to destroy NYC by pursuing this girl, and they say we are in Nigeria in a free society, NYC will overreach itself and overrate itself like Wayek and Jump. And very soon, they will fade. let them go ahead and not let them pursue. You know, suddenly people who are hidden and they are being managed, people are managing them in the name of NYC is already being killed by insecurity and the nature of Nigeria, and they now somebody who is already being promised that I'm going to burn you with fire. They are now going home, taking their bath with PMS.
All right.
I wish them well. But if they don't watch this one, they are now using mallet to kill an ant. And they will eventually hit that mallet on their toes. NYC, take care. It's an advice. I'm not telling you what to do.
All right.
They still have the power to come and withdraw the NYC certificate I own. I don't need it. Because very soon it will become totally useless if they continue with this. All that respect we used to have for them, they will just mess it up. And everybody who might start, somebody has come on air to tear his own NYC. So they did not add to most people coming out and say, because of this, they will start coming out openly to start tearing certificates, and NYC will fade like this.
All right, we have to wrap it up here, but thank you so much.
Our tagline, may God bless Nigeria, and for those who desire the blessing.
Thank you for your review. It's always a pleasure having you for the review in the morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jane.
All right, the morning show will be back in a moment. Do stay with us.